Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about all things Ethereum. We talk about projects, NFTs, play to earn, and price. And today, guys, we're talking about play to earn because Axie Infinity, the team at Sky Mavis, just dropped so much information on us over the last couple of days. Ron was launched yesterday, the new token that's going to govern the Ronin chain, not to be confused with the Axis or AXS coin that's already the governance token for the game Axie Infinity. But we have new information there. The new light paper on the Ronin network dropped. There's tons of information there. We want to talk about that today. I want to clue you in on a couple interviews that involved the Axie Infinity team. In particular, there was a chat on from Jiho and Psychout this morning that was incredible about just some internal information, them talking to each other. But then Dave versus Axie, we had some amazing info come out of that interview on Twitch. Both of them are on Twitch, in fact, and I'll give you some links in the description for both of those videos. Check them out. Especially if you're an investor, but also if you're a scholar or just want to know what's going on with the Axie Infinity, metaverse, guys. So let's jump into more information. I'm going to show you my screen here. Yesterday, I started pooling more RON tokens because look at these APRs, guys. 141% APR on the Axis to Wrapped ETH pool. I'm farming that right now. I claimed this morning I had like 5 new RON from that claim, and then we had actually I think I had 8 this morning. Really great APR there. I've got a lot less invested in the SLP to Wrapped ETH pool, but it has a 430% APR. I'm gonna claim that tomorrow morning. Should have well over 1 RON there, and then I've just taken all of my RON tokens. I had 25 from the pre-launch, I had 8 already from yesterday, and I'm just stacking that every time I'm able to into the RON versus Wrapped ETH pool, because we didn't know this yesterday until this morning what the APR was going to be. It started out this morning at 400% APR and it's leveling off to about 300%. And these are only good through February 3rd, guys. So once we hit February 3rd, it's when they expect that we will run out of the tokens that they have intended for these pools to be farmed, and so we will see drastic drop-offs in the amount of RON rewards farmed in these pools. So look out for that. Well, what am I going to get into next? I've been analyzing the Katana decks, guys. There's a lot going on. More TVL has been added. Tons of transactions. Volume has been nuts over the last couple of days. Not quite as high as our all-time highs back in November, but we've got these spikes, and we've got some good TVL and volume tracking going on here over the last couple of days, which is not surprising since RON was released yesterday, and the transactions on the Katana decks are very much involved with the trade and pooling and all that stuff on over here in the staking tab that I've already showed you, or the farming tab rather. As you can see, I'm not staking any AXS right now. I will move back into that after February 3rd because the APR is bouncing between 88 and 90%, and obviously we have much better APRs currently in the farming tab of the Katana pooling. So a couple things I want to mention. Twitter has been a light with some great stuff today. We had, first of all, this was the chat this morning. We had Psychout, we had Jiho, and we had Ziori, all talking about the upcoming things for Axie Infinity. In particular, they talked about RON. They talked a little bit about AXS, and we got some hints as to what was going to happen, but all of it was confirmed and more on the Dave versus Axie interview with Jiho here, and I'll link these both in the description below, so check those out, especially if you're really into this metaverse. Okay, so the things that he mentioned, that Jiho mentioned in particular, are really exciting for me. I wish I had a list in front of me. I should have written them down, but I've just finished watching this video, and it's top of mind, guys. So the biggest thing that I got out of this was that the SLP rewards are probably going to go down especially for adventure guys. They want to continue to incentivize those who are competitive. So changing up the reward system from adding, you know, the click to win, you know, or the click to earn back to the play to earn side of things. So I think they're going to drop or entirely eliminate the rewards in adventure, and this could happen, guys. This could happen as early as next week, because I think they're going to the goal. In fact, Geo said at the very end of this video, while he was talking about, after he talks about land, he talks about I think the very last question that Dave has for Geo is when these changes will come into play for SLP in particular, and I think we're going to see a drop in the issuance of SLP as soon as season 20 starts. And I think season 20 we're on season 20, right? I believe we're on. I'm so full of information. My head is so full of information today that I can't even remember what season we're going into. I believe we're going to season 20, and with that, we should see a drastic drop. In fact, he said we want to shock the system into not receiving as much SLP as we're used to, because we want to incentivize the competitiveness of the game, rather than you know, just get a broad stack, you know, of SLP. So I've had personally a couple of my scholars haven't been able to compete and have dropped under 800 MMR. That, as much as that hurts, it's a system that has to be involved, because if you're not competitive enough to earn the SLP, you shouldn't waste your time. You know, it's going to kill the game if we just continue to give out. In fact, we've obviously seen that with the degradation of the price of SLP over the last couple months, and to see a 1 cent SLP is really sad. You know, it's dropped down to even 0.09 cents, guys, and so I think we might hold that threshold, especially if we start seeing some change in the mint to burn ratio, and so I think we're going to see that as early as next week. So moving on from that, Geo did confirm that the goal of launch for Origins or Battles V3 is the end of this quarter. No longer are we hearing months. I mean, we definitely heard months today, but at least it's confirmed that the goal is to be launching Origins or Battles V3 at the end of March. So April 1st is the first day of the second quarter, and he said in the video with Dave versus Axie that we will be, you know, our goal is to launch it. Now, we've seen them pass by goals before, right? In December, we were expected to see Origins and land. Obviously, land was the thing that we were kind of waiting for all year last year, and they were saying the goal was the end of December. Well, the end of December came, and they let us know. They did let us know, and I think they're trying to be more transparent, guys. And this is what I've seen in a lot of other YouTubers just dogging on the Sky Mavis team about this, is being transparent, and they're trying to be that right now, especially. In fact, I know Dave versus Axie has a scheduled appointment with Geo every couple months, so look out for that right at the end of the quarter. We should be seeing Origins happen around that time, so we'll see what happens there. But they're doing a concerted effort, guys, to be more transparent with the information that's going on in the economy as well as in game changes. So we should see more and more information there. In fact, he talked about that specifically about land and how they communicated their plans for lands last year, and they really want to do a better service to the community with talking about land more and more often. So I believe we will see Origins before the end of this quarter, and I'm super excited. So again, to reiterate a video that I posted before, and I'll put that in the description, guys, is now the time to invest in Axie Infinity. And though I'm not a financial advisor, this is not a financial advice, please do your own research, guys. But in my opinion, this is the best time. In fact, it's even better than getting into Axie when I started back in August of 2021, because things are so inexpensive. if you can get a full team, in fact, one of my scholars, congratulations to Axie Gods out there, one of my original scholar and my best scholar to date, he has bought his own team for the first time, guys, because for 0.06 Ethereum, which today, let me check on that pricing. So today Ethereum's at $2,400 or just above. So and then 0.06, that is only $144 for an entire team. That's incredible. That's probably, you know, you're obviously averaging 0.2 Ethereum per team, which is the you know, just above the floor. So scouring the floor Axies, guys, getting yourself into a great team for $140 is insane, because my first Axies, guys, my first Axies back in August cost me, you know, $200 to $300 each, and now you can get an entire team for less than the cost of one Axie that I bought back in August. So guys, we've seen Axies all the way up to $600, $1,000 easily for just, you know, entry-level Axies. And so to be able to buy an entire team that's viable, this particular scholar would not have purchased these Axies if they were not viable in the adventure and in the arena if he didn't think they were good, because he's not going to, you know, he's from the Philippines. You know, $140 is a lot of money for this individual, and to have the confidence and faith that this team will be competitive and spend that much of his livelihood on this team is a huge decision for him, and he would not take it lightly. So right now is the best time, in my opinion. So moving on with more information, what did Jiho say? We talked about SLP. You know, burning mechanisms in Origins coming. So we do have to wait a couple months, and should be a couple, not months, right? Should be a couple months before we see burning mechanisms, but we will see a drop in the issuance or the mint, you know, in that of Adventure in particular. Now, they did say that they want to up the price or up the rewards in AXS or Axis token. It's interesting to hear Jiho say Axis about the AXS token. I want to try to drain that or bring that into my mind more often, so that we're talking about the same thing all the time. So the Axis token, he wants to bring more rewards to the arena, guys, for these for season 20 coming, and to reward the competitive side of this game even more than before. And so I think we'll see a flip of taking away some of the adventure and some of the you know, lower MMR issuance of the SLP, and giving away more access on the top end. Because in the treasury, guys, there's plenty of AXS to be given in these seasons, and I think even with the RON token now, or the RON token being issued, I think we will see RON rewards in newer seasons coming as well. So look out for that. Now we know that there's burning mechanisms coming. We're going to be able to not only, and he talked about this exclusively in the video with Dave versus Axie, he wants to see Axies grow vertically and not just horizontally. And by that he meant that right now the only way to get a better Axie is to either breed or buy a new one. So taking, you know, your Axies and freeing them seems like a better option right now, because at least you're getting something in return. Well, in the future, especially with Origins, we'll see a mechanism where we can level up our Axies. So each body part will have a level 2. In fact, if you go to the inventory, you can actually see where these levels come into play. Right now, they're only available on these 4, because these 4 are the only ones that have cards. But each body part, guys, in the very near future with Origins coming, will be able to have levels on each one of these parts. And we don't know yet whether they're going to level in Arena or in Adventure, but it sounds to me that they're going to focus more on the Arena side of things, guys, and really give you a chance to level up vertically your team, not just horizontally, right? So I'm excited to hear more communication about that from the Axie Infinity team. So I'm pretty stoked to know for sure that will be a burning mechanism too. To be able to spend SLP to level up your Axies is going to be a huge not only for the game itself, but for the economy, which I'm highly involved in, as you've seen with my my pooling here. So land, he talked about a little bit. I think I mentioned that he wants to be more transparent about land updates. They are completely changing the graphic look of land, guys, going from a 2D look to a 3D look, and so that's going to be the majority of what the changes are. Now we've also seen in with the issuance of the RON token and the light paper. Guys, I want to talk about the light paper. That was one thing I haven't mentioned yet. The light paper is extremely informative and thorough, guys. Another great show of transparency from the Axie Infinity team. This breakdown, go through this entire document if you're an investor in the whether you just have a couple Axies or you have hundreds of Axies. I highly recommend going through this light paper, because it goes into great detail about the roadmap for Ronin and the phases of what's going on. There will be Ronin staking or RON staking coming in the future, so we'll be able to stake RON as well as Axis. And then validators, they're talking about adding more nodes, if you will, to the Axie Infinity, to the Ronin chain in particular, and there will be rewards with that. Unfortunately, it's going to be out of the reach of most of our bank accounts to start this up. I think currently we're looking at something like, I believe it was 200,000 RON or something like that was needed to be a validator, and of course hardware on top of that, and the hardware requirements are fairly large. This is an Ethereum fork, and they mentioned that in the light paper. That was interesting to talk about if you're really into the technology of these different chains out there. It's more similar to that of Binance, guys. The Binance Smart Chain is a fork of the Ethereum chain, and the Ronin chain is a fork. It's not, yes, it's a side chain and it works in parallel sort of, but it's not, from what I understand, it's not, settling transactions on the Ethereum main chain. The chain is separate. It's using these validator nodes and it's proof of authority right now, and soon it'll be proof of stake as well. So staking your RON will be integral to the security of the chain at some point in the future. They're saying that they're in phase 1 of 3 or 4 right now, and phase 2 and 3 is adding more validators to the Ronin chain. So watch the light paper, guys. I want to wrap this up because there's so much information, and I want you to have the time to go through it. And I think I've explained enough. But guys, we got some confirmation about the goals, at least, of the Axie Infinity team and when they want to drop things. Obviously, land still is months, maybe a year or more out. However, we have some great news about Origins. They're putting, the last thing I'll talk about is they're putting a lot of money where their mouth is this time around. And because Origins will be their premier game launch, for the very first time they're putting actual advertising dollars into the campaign. And Jiho goes into the why of waiting so long to get into the RON launch is because they're setting up a advertising plan. They had to go through the process of finding the right people to advertise the game launch. They're also testing their servers right now, guys. They're doing their due diligence on the server side, making sure that the crashing of the servers that happened in July and August of last year doesn't happen again. Now, we have seen, in fact, on the I think it was in this Lunasian, there's some information here about the server payloads that the transactions that happened on the Ronin chain. Well, that isn't directly correlated to the servers that actually run the game itself. So don't think that because we've hit 500x over the Ethereum network's daily transactions that the Ronin chain is actually what the game is running on. No, that's completely separate servers that run the Axie Infinity games. And so you're going to have, you know, the nodes that run the game, and then you're going to have the nodes that run the chain. So those two things are very separate, and so they're beefing up their server side on the game. Rather, their servers on the game side versus their servers on the Ronin chain side. So with that, guys, I want to wrap this video up. So thank you so much for watching. If you're into coffee and crypto, go to friedrichscoffee.com to support this channel, guys. I'll do a lot of research. I spend at least an hour every day making these videos for you, including editing and doing the thumbnails. And if I can get a little bit of your support, that'd be fantastic. Head over to friedrichscoffee.com, buy yourself a 12-ounce bag of roasted to order coffee, and I get a small portion of the sale there because they're a client of mine on my advertising business. But thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.